All right, we're going to do a walkthrough of our Unit 1 study guide. So if you're planning to retake the next test, you need to have the study guide done so that you can do the retake. And so the first problem, we have QS as an endpoint. So let's write that out. We have 36 and negative 17. The midpoint is QS, so that is negative 12, 22. And then we don't know one of the endpoints, so that's an X and a Y. So you're going to set this up. The middle is always the first plus the last and divide it by 2. So you set that up for X. To solve this, you need to multiply both sides by 2, and then you get, for this problem, negative 24. These 2's cancel out, and you get X plus 36. Keep solving for X, subtract 36, and then I get X equals, add these two negatives together, so two negatives, you add it, keep it negative, and that's going to be negative 60. So do the same thing for Y. The middle equals the first plus the last divided by 2. Solve it, multiply both sides by 2. 44 equals, cancels out the 2, Y minus 17. Add 17 to both sides, and you get final answer, Y equals, that's 61. So your answer is a coordinate, negative 60, 61, and that is the point that would be the midpoint. No, that's the endpoint for that setup. All right, the next one, name the plane represented by the top of the box. So top of the box is this part right here. Okay, rules for naming a plane. You have to have 3 points and they cannot be collinear. So choice A, BCG, that is not on the plane. ACF, ACF, F is not on the plane. ACD, ACD, that checks out. All 3 points are on the plane and they are not collinear. And of course AEI is not on the plane. So ACD. All right, next one, you're going to add up segment BE. Just count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. BE is 6, so you need another segment that is congruent. Congruent means equal to, same measure. So what segment is congruent to BE? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, AC. So name it, put the segment indicator on top. All right, next one, we're going to use the distance formula to find the distance between these 2 points. On this one, you could have counted out your X and Y, or you could use your distance formula. So remember, distance equals square root of second X minus first X squared plus second Y minus first Y squared. Plug in the numbers. So we have distance equals 1x. It doesn't matter which one's first and which one's second as long as you stay consistent. So I'll go ahead and label what we're going to do. All right, so we got negative 4 minus 2 squared plus second y, negative 2 minus 3 squared. And just work out these numbers. Negative 6 squared plus negative 5 squared. Remember, when we square a negative number, it's going to turn out positive. Negative times negative is positive, so that's 36. Negative times negative is positive, so that's 25. And then add them up. 36 and 25, that is 50, 61. That is not a perfect square, so just leave it as square root of 61, or you could put it in a calculator and find a decimal. But we have multiple choice, so that is one of our choices. All right, next up. Now, this is a midpoint, but you're given the 2 endpoints, so that's a little bit easier. We're going from 4.4 8.4 to 8.7, 9.8. So for your x's, you just add the x's and divide by 2. So 4.4 plus 8.7, divide by 2. So that is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.1 divided by 2. All right, that goes into 13.1 6 times and 6.55. Now, since this is multiple choice, this is your x value. We've got one choice with a 6.55, so we could go ahead and stop there. Otherwise, you would have to add your other y point and get an answer there, but we can go with that. All right, moving on. Number 6 is name 3 collinear points. Collinear, they have to be on the same line. So that would be your DEF. So DEF. Name the plane. When we name a plane, we have to have 3 points that are not collinear. So any 3, you would have to include G, because that's the only point there that's not collinear with D, E, and F. So you could say this is plane DEG. You could call it DFG. You could call it EFG. You could call it, yeah, looks like those are probably the only choices. So as long as G's in there for this one. Where do the plane and the line containing point H intersect? So this is H, it goes right through the plane at point E. So that is point E. Okay, so also remember 2 planes intersect. If you have 2 planes intersecting, I don't know if I can draw that. Kind of looking like that. Okay, 2 planes intersect at a line, a segment, or a ray. All right. What is this figure? It is a line, so we're going to answer line. How do we name a line? BW with a line indicator on top. Your other possibilities would be a ray. We would call that a ray. Whatever the letters are, we'll call it AB. So we're going to call that AB with a ray indicator on top. And the other possibility is a line segment. And we would call that AB with just a straight a segment indicator on top. And this was a segment. Okay. So moving on, number 10, find the length of the segment that has endpoints at 3, -4, and -1, 0. Length of a segment, that is the same thing as distance formula. So we did distance formula on the other problem, so I'm not going to work this one. Plug the numbers in, and that's how you do that. Length of a segment that has endpoints. Don't get this confused with midpoint, just because they're giving you 2 points. Use distance formula. Circle the line that is parallel to the other line. So I'm going to look at this line. All I need from this is its slope. So remember, y equals mx plus b. So the slope is the m value that's always in front of x. This is the intercept, the y-intercept. Okay? So I need a line that is parallel to this one. So it's going to have a different intercept, but the same slope. So I'm going to look at my choices, and I'm going to find this one has a slope of 4 as well. And so that's my choice. If it asks for the line perpendicular, then I would take my slope of 4. I would flip it upside down and make it the opposite sign. So if I'd ask for perpendicular, then you're looking for this answer. Okay? And partitioning. Z partitions AC. So we have a segment that is being split into 7 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need to end right here. Oops. Try to draw this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this is what this looks like. In order to have a ratio of 3 to 4, so in other words, one person has 3 parts, the other person has 4 parts. I need to find this point that splits you into 3 to 4 ratio. So the fraction that I need is, this is 3/7 of the way down this line. All right, so that's the first step, is find the fraction of how much of the line do I need. Then I need to find for x. For x, it is the second x minus the first. For y, the length is going to be the second y minus the first, minus a minus 10. You have to go from second minus the first, because this is directional. If you go the other way, you're going to have the wrong amounts. So you find so this represents how long is x and y. And then from there, I need to multiply it by the fraction to find out how big 3/7 of it is. All right, 7 goes into 7 one time, so this is -3. 7 goes into 21 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, now this represents how big 3/7 of the line is. So my last step is to take the first point, 1 and -10, and add -3, 9 to it. So this is the point that we started at, and this is the length of 3/7 of the line. Add these up, I get -2, -1, and that is the point that partitions into a 3 to 4 ratio. All right, and I think it's our last one, because the definitions, you can just look those up and study them. Write the equation of a line that is perpendicular. So again, I've got the slope of this line is -2. So a perpendicular slope, write it as a fraction, flip it upside down, negative turns to positive. So this is the slope for the equation I'm going to write. I don't know anything else but the point. 8, -3 is xy. Okay? So I'm going to take y equals mxb plus b. That's your standard equation for slope-intercept form. I'm going to plug in -3 equals 1/2 times x plus b. We don't know the new intercept. -3 equals 1/2 times 8. 2 goes into 8 4 times, so 4 plus b. Subtract 4. b equals -7. So now I know the intercept. So I'm going to rewrite the equation. Y equals, the slope that I need is 1/2. X has to stay a variable, and then I need a new intercept. So this is my equation. All right, and it looks like that is all. So you guys have a great day. I hope that helps, and just see me if you have more questions. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.